All right, hello, Mark W. here. Good evening. At least it's good evening when I'm recording this. Could be any time of the day by you. And yeah, I'm gonna open this package today. It is from Steve Jackson Games. It is a set of game books, and as anybody who follows my channel knows, I am into game books quite a bit. This channel is about all various kinds of gaming. I think it's kind of a minority in that sense. Usually you hear, oh, I have a gaming channel. What do? They play video games. So I do everything related to games on this channel that I enjoy, as well as my son, who is a sometimes co-host, Mr. Rob Bob, enjoys. And yeah, I thought I would just do this unboxing. You know, unboxings are what they are. They're it's fun to share with the world. I had this package for a few months now, and this is from. Actually, it was from June of last year. It is now February, late February in 2024. This was actually shipped in late June 2023, so something like 8 months ago now. Yeah, sometimes I just hold out the packages until I get a chance to share their loveliness with the world a little bit, because it's more fun to share the pseudo Christmas morning joy of unboxing things. Anyway, what is this? This is Choose Cthulhu. Steve Jackson Games published this set of 6 game books, which are kind of like fighting fantasy books or Tunnels and Trolls solos, or what most people tend to relate to better, choose your own adventure books. And they are all about the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu mythos stories. My understanding is it was originally, or these were originally written by a Spanish author, and they were translated, I think Spanish. They were translated to English, and Steve Jackson Games liked them so much that they took on the task of publishing them here in the U.S. They had a Kickstarter for them, and that it looks like they sold about over 1,000 pledges. They got over about 1,000 pledges. There were 6 books. I decided to get all of them. It was about $80, I believe, for all 6. Not a bad price. And yeah, I thought it'd be fun to open them with my legions of adoring fans, all 7 of you, and flip through the books a little bit perhaps and check out the artwork. This is usually when I do this live, somebody always comments when I break out the knife. They say, "Don't cut yourself, Mark." Like, I've never cut myself once opening a box with a knife. And that's not a jinx upon myself that's about to happen. Let's hope not, anyway. All right. As always, you want to be not only sure that you don't cut yourself with a knife, you want to not cut the contents inside. Sometimes you gotta put the knife down and just tear at it like a caveman, like a rabid beast, a wild beast. Okay. I'm kind of excited. I've been looking to, check these out for a while. I know some people, when they hear that I sometimes save packages for months, people are like, how do you resist the temptation? Like, well, I like to share with the world. I like to share with my friends, my YouTube friends, and I say, well, let's share the experience a little bit. Anyway, here we go. Off the bat, you can see probably the most famous of the Lovecraft stories. It's kind of funny how the reflection is it's a reflection of my light overhead. It looks like a big C for Cthulhu. But let's try not to get too much of that glare. The Call of Cthulhu. And this is the Spanish author. It looks like, going by the fact that I see Leandro Pinto here, and a different name that doesn't sound Spanish here, I guess they were not all Spanish. Maybe just this original one was. And is this even the number 1? Yeah, it's number 1 in the series. You can see they're not huge game books. Some of them are massive. Like I think about the Dracula set I have this Dracula book that I have from Jonathan Green. But this is not that it's tiny. But the source material isn't really that long. The Lovecraft books aren't that huge. The stories aren't that huge. Most of them don't even count as books per se. I mean, to me, they don't count as full-fledged novels. Is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so yeah, Call of Cthulhu. Here you go. Here's the, if you've paid attention to pop culture or nerd culture at all over the past few decades, you've probably heard of Cthulhu. And here he is in all his glory. I've always had a little bit of a peeve about how artists typically convey Cthulhu. I don't mind this one, but it does have one of my peeves, and that piece is glowing red eyes. Because to me, glowing red eyes always looks like cartoonish monster, whereas Cthulhu is supposed to look like something so alien and foreign that it just kind of blows your mind. But he does kind of look disturbing enough with these. I don't know. It looks like he's got multiple eyes. Look at that. And I think, according to the original description in the book, he is supposed to have more than 2 eyes. He's also supposed to be corpulent. He's not usually written as corpulent. Anyway, or drawn as corpulent. So this is the first one, The Call of Cthulhu. Your sanity is at stake. I apologize for this glare. It's always something I'm trying to figure out, is how to get lighting to be better. But anyway, a mysterious cult has murdered your great uncle, Professor Gamel. Following the clues he left, you uncover a trail of death and chaos that leads around the world. A door to a secret world hiding in plain sight opens before your eyes. It is a world of truth, so fearful to be believed by any sane mind. What secrets lie behind Professor Gamel's research? Will your courage suffice to face what the cult of Cthulhu is concealing? Will you survive the curse that strikes all who learn of these beings from the depths of time and space? Choose Cthulhu, that's the series. It's a series of game books based on the works of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Is he Howard Phillips? I thought he was Howard Phillips. That might be a typo. Take the role of the main character in the original stories by Providence's Master and face the cosmic horror of the Cthulhu mythos. Alright, so here we got the logo apparently. Choose Cthulhu. Second edition, first printing, published 2023. Steve Jackson games. They've kind of always been, I don't like everything Steve Jackson does, but they've kind of been a mainstay in gaming throughout my whole life. Every once in a while I'll get something by them. Ever since like the 80s, I used to play their cartoon role-playing game called Toon, and their generally more serious role-playing game called GURPS, Generic Universal Role-Playing System. And over the years, every once in a while, I get another game of theirs. It's cool they've been around for so long, and they've been operating out of Austin, Texas, pretty much forever. I thought I saw the Austin, Texas on my package here, right? My package label, yeah, Austin, Texas. They're still out there, I guess. That's cool. All right, why don't we move on to the next grim adventure? And by the way, these are all, I don't know if I said this right, these are all based on original stories by Lovecraft. So you're actually, you know, one of the characters in the story. And what I always find interesting when a game book is based on another source is, you know, how much do they let you deviate from the original story? Like, which actions can you take that will change the ending to something completely different? Like, as you can probably guess, not all of these endings are happy, but could you possibly, you know, steer your destiny in a more positive direction? Or will this guy come and destroy everything? Or maybe you can make it even worse. I don't know. Anyway, that's the first one, Call of Cthulhu. Next up, we have what might be my personal favorite Lovecraft story, At the Mountains of Madness. This one, again, is by Edward T. Riker. I thought maybe they were all by this same Spanish author, but I guess they are not. And here you have what is known as one of the Elder Things. They aren't inherently bad. They don't want to kill every human they see, is my understanding. And this one is about an Antarctic expedition in which ancient horrors are uncovered, and also albino penguins. What madness will you find? Miskatonic University has invited you to lead an expedition to a remote and dangerous part of the Antarctic. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead this expedition from afar. I'll just tell people what to do, and I will, huddle up in a cabin drinking hot cocoa. Fame and prestige are on the line, but something is wrong. What horrible secrets are hidden in those remote polar regions? What's the meaning of the strange fossilized prints on the ice? And what happened to the last expedition? Choose Cthulhu is a series of game books based on the works of Howard Phillips Lovecraft. I'm going to look that up right now. Take the role of the main character in the original stories by the Providence's Master and face the cosmic horror of the Cthulhu mythos. Alright, so I'll put that aside for now as well. And what I'm thinking of doing is flipping through these at the end, just to, take a look at some of the artwork and maybe some of the introductions and whatnot. But I'm going to look up real quick. Howard Philip Lovecraft. I thought it was Philip. I'm going to see if I was right or if Steve Jackson Games is right. It is Phillips. It is not Philip. It's Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Okay. Interesting. So I'm glad they were right and I was wrong, because I tend to get annoyed whenever I buy a book and I find they have errors. I mean, the errors are always going to creep through, but if this were the wrong name, that would seem like a fundamental error. But hey, I was the one making the fundamental error, so props to Steve Jackson Games and boo to me for accusing them of making an error. Anyway, I have something else here that I don't quite remember. If this was a freebie or did I throw in a couple bucks for it? It looks like a dice set, I think. Here we have Cthulhu dice. Wow. So these look like little glass beads, the kind that you tend to use in, or that people tended to use in games of Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. And this is just a 12-sided die. It's quite a large one. This is larger than your normal 12-sided dice. And is it actually giving me numbers? I guess it is. I'm not sure. Just random tentacles look like I thought maybe this was a 1 and this was a 3, but there's duplicates. See? Well, let's see what the back of the box says. A custom 12-sided die embossed with tentacles, elder signs, and more. Roll the die to destroy your opponent's sanity. Better yet, steal it. But watch out, when Cthulhu comes up, he takes sanity from everyone. Okay, so it's a little game. 18 glass sanity marbles are included. Lose all your marbles and you're mad. The last sane cultist wins. Unless everyone goes mad together, then Cthulhu wins. Keep Cthulhu dice in your pocket and drive your friends mad wherever you go. Over lunch, waiting for a plane, whatever the voices tell you to do. Right, that's pretty cool. Game designed by Steve Jackson, illustrated by Alex Fernandez. Ages 10 and up. So yeah, they have a little it looks like it has a little plastic bag for the beads. I don't know if that's like a Ziploc or something you would tear open and then toss it. That's pretty neat. Next we have another one I like. Another story I like, The Shadow over Innsmouth. I guess this is, one of the main popular ones by how do you say that name? Ginny Valrise? Valrise? Shadow over Innsmouth, and this guy is he's one of the I think he might have the Innsmouth look. What do you think? So this story is kind of about fish people who evolve into fish or something, and they have their god, their fishy god living underwater. Why did it have to be Innsmouth? In search of your origins, you travel to the decaying streets of a seaside town full of terrible ancient mysteries. What are the abhorrent denizens of Innsmouth hiding? What's buried in the deep waters of the Devil Reef? Are you willing to risk your own sanity just to know the truth? And here we have the same blurb about the series. Choose Cthulhu with a series of game books, etc. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, I figure, as anyone who follows my channel knows, I like to play game books on the stream. So I figure on live streams, that is, I think at some point I will probably get around to playing at least 1 or 2 of these. Looks like they're kind of not necessarily complaints. It seems like a lot of empty space generally. Just flipping through it real quick. It's probably fine. It's just if you're expecting it to be dense with text, I guess you might be disappointed. Oh, they don't try to cram multiple paragraphs on one page. I see how it is. Yeah, I think this is fine. But if you are expecting, oh, this is going to be a lot of text, then maybe you'd be disappointed. Anyway, next up we have The Nameless City. This is a story I don't remember ever getting around to reading. I actually have the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. Many of them are less than stellar. The Nameless City. Hold on, I'm going to adjust my lighting. The Nameless City. Again, the same author, whose name I don't know how to pronounce. Some of Lovecraft's stories are very like dream related. Like there's the Dreamlands and these other worlds and things like that. I don't know if this has to do with that, but the cover kind of makes me think maybe, or it could just be an ancient city. I don't know. I'm not, as you can probably tell, I don't consider myself to be an expert at this whole mythos. Although I did play the Call of Cthulhu Lovecraft a bit, role-playing game back in the day a bit. And I read, a whole bunch of his stories, but kind of just random, scattered ones here and there, except for the ones I already mentioned. The Nameless City, it should have stayed hidden. Also, I played the board game Arkham Horror quite a bit. Ancient ruins, long buried in the ever-shifting dunes of the Arabian Peninsula, awaits the bold explorer. What creatures will crawl along those subterranean corridors long forgotten by mortals? Can you find the Nameless City? Should you? Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? And this one is number 4 in the series. I guess Shadow over the Innsmouth was 3, right? Yeah, here we go. Shadow over Innsmouth, number 3. Onward to number... Oh, this is number 6, actually. It's a little bit mixed up. The Dreams in the Witch House. Maybe this one is more dreamy related. And I definitely know this title. But that's another one I haven't ever read. I guess this guy's in it. Hey, how you doing? Do you dare spend the night in the witch's house? Well, is he staying too? That may influence my decision one way or another. Your belief in parallel worlds has led you to the mysterious town of Arkham, where everything goes wrong. Following old stories about a witch who claimed dominance over the secrets of time and space. But the mysterious kidnappings and rituals continue today. Will you survive the dreams that whisper from the attic of the witch house? Choose Cthulhu, same blurb. Okay, cool. This is by Edward T. Riker, who also wrote, I think the second one we looked at. Yeah, At the Mountains of Madness is also by Edward T. Riker. I believe this is our last item in the box. It is The Dunwich Horror. I've read this one by Leandro Pinto, which is another name we've seen. He did Call of Cthulhu as well. Unclean mysteries of the great old ones. Something disturbs the stillness of the isolated town of Dunwich. Rumors regarding the peculiar, Whately family are rife, and their connection to impious rituals has become the talk of the few who still dwell in the rough mountains of Massachusetts. What rites and spells lie in the pages of the feared Necronomicon, so coveted by the Whateleys? Can you survive the horrors that lurk in the hills and farms of Dunwich? Alright, so that is all we got. I'm hoping to find an extra hidden goodie among the packing peanuts, but no such luck. So yeah, why don't we just give a flip, quick flip through some of these, and then we'll call it a video. Here's some credits. And yeah, President, Editor-in-Chief Steve Jackson is still doing stuff. Philip Reed is their CEO. Can I skip a page here? Here we go. Translated from the Spanish by Carla Lopez Medeiros. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's going to be a lot more than just the 6, it looks like. They're going up to 14. Holy Moses. Wow. Okay, that could be fun. I mean, we'll have to see how we like these, but I'm excited. Warning. Let's check out the warning. How many times have you felt like screaming, "Don't do that, you fool," when reading a book or watching a movie? Well, this is your chance to be the one to make the decisions. You'll find many different actions to carry out within the pages of this book. As you read through the story, you'll choose what you want to do. Your decisions will determine whether you successfully complete your investigation, die a horrible death, most probably, or spend your last days in a mental institution, also probable. Only you are accountable for your destiny. Well, honestly, I think one of the themes in some of these stories is that you're effed no matter what, because there's horrible alien things that are bigger than you. But anyway, we'll run with that. You're accountable for your destiny. It is up to you to save or condemn the world. It's very simple. Once you've read what's happening, follow the instructions to find out where your choices take you. Take into consideration that you can't go back. Read your options carefully and think before you choose. In the Choose Cthulhu books, you'll not only enter the world crafted by H.P. Lovecraft, but you'll also have the chance to relive his dark creations. Do you think you can outsmart the children of the Master himself? Oh, and when in doubt... Oh my goodness. Fanugli Mugwanaf Cthulhu Relay Waga Nagal Fatagan. Good to know. So you have the introduction here, and it's kind of easing you right into the story, or jumping you right into the story, I should say. Gives you a name. You work at Brown University. All right. Oh, look at this. It has the it's kind of interesting the way this is laid out. Because usually, I'm used to finding fantasy tunnels and trolls, other kinds of game books. They have the choices kind of right in the paragraph usually. And here they have the text kind of separate, and then they have almost like a footnote. They have the choices down here. I'm not sure if I'm not saying that's worse or better. It's just different. Definitely interesting. Okay. So I'm not. I don't want to spoil this. But it's kind of one little funny thing at the bottom. Everyone who examines you determines it would be better for you to end up secluded on page 77. Okay, page 77 must be where you end up. If your mental health goes down the toilet. Take a look at some of this info in the back. I'm not sure what this is about. It's telling me all the characters, I guess, giving me info about all the characters. Wow, including Cthulhu. Dramatis Personae, if I said that correctly. Cool, yeah, it looks really neat. I can't wait to play this on stream for my own entertainment and hopefully yours. And when I do these, I like to involve the viewers. You can help me choose. This is me just deferring decisions because I can't make them myself. I'll say, what should I do? Should I go to, should I choose the first choice and go to paragraph 1, 2, 3, and I'll take you guys into account, but ultimately it's my decision. But yeah, sometimes I let it come to a vote. I let people vote for which option to take, and my son, Mr. Rob Bob, weighs in on that too. He's usually the co-host. Yeah, kind of like the art style. I'm seeing a lot of the end messages, like definitely different, a lot of ways to end your quest. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's flip through a little bit more. We got 6 books to flip through, so can't take too long here. Bum, bum, bum. A lot of these kind of books have these sort of I don't know what you call them. They're almost like page fillers where they will like repeat the I'm assuming this is one of them. They'll like repeat like a standard image just to fill a little bit of space or something like that. I'm not sure what the idea is behind it. I think this is one of them too. I'm not entirely sure because I'm kind of avoiding reading the text. But I definitely saw some of these a few times. Like this one. Alright, here's an angry guy who's going to shoot me. Oh man. Alright. Let's call it a flip through. I'm done flipping through that. Let's go to number 2, At the Mountains of Madness. Looking at pictures. Let's see if the intro looks a little different at all, or if it's basically the same. Yeah, we got the same titles in the series list, and we got Different picture here, obviously. Same translator. Oh wow, there's my my old friend, not literally a friend, Jonathan Green again. I was just mentioning how I have some books by him, such as the very large Dracula game book. He gets involved in everything. I mean, it's a common enough name; it could be somebody else, but it seems like too big of a coincidence. And yet we've had two major game book creators both named Steve Jackson, so it could entirely be a coincidence that not only do we have two Steve Jacksons in the game book world, but also two Jonathan Greens. Yeah, this is the same warning message here. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's give it a quick flip-see again. Yeah, At the Mountains of Madness. I like I have a manga based on that. Can't remember the author's name, but that's a lot of fun. A lot of spooky fun. This thing is too cold and appears hollow inside. Is that the Mountains of Madness? Huh? Was that a zombie or something? I don't remember zombies in it. Maybe that was just a dead guy. That would track. Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, there was supposed to be a previous expedition with dead explorers that would probably look like that. Okay. Yeah, so this is pretty neat, huh? Oh, are these the evil penguins? Or they're not evil, actually. They're just kind of giant albino penguins. Stinking mutant penguins gather in a subterranean beach. Yeah, the penguins are a staple of At the Mountain of Madness. Wow. That thing I don't even think was in the original At the Mountains of Madness. That's one of the great race of Yith. Then again, I'm not a complete expert in these stories. The Galilee. Cool. I can't wait to play these, actually. I have so much queued up on my streams. I usually do retro video games on my Thursday night streams, and Saturday is my catch-all for everything. So Gamebooks would usually be done on Saturday. All right, let's move on. Oh, one more thing. Look at this charming fellow. That must be one of the Shoggoths. All right, wow. Yeah, this is gonna be fun, and I'm probably gonna be dying as much as I do in Tunnels and Trolls, which is saying something. Shadow over Innsmouth. We have a lovely snail shell of some sort, or conch shell. I'm not sure what you call that. Just flipping through. You got a creepy old man looking at me. He's probably partially fish guy. I guess they're called deep ones. It's amazing how many of the I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but there's a lot of the end paragraphs. Now, something that somehow just occurred to me is these are more pure choose your own adventure than game book. Maybe the distinction is, you know, I don't know if everybody agrees with this distinction is what I'm trying to say, but to me, game book is more like, it's kind of more like RPG where you have a character and you're rolling, you know, combat dice and things like that. You have stamina stats and whatnot. I think this is more like just, it's a story and you go to this paragraph if you choose that choice, and, you know, so you don't have a character sheet and stuff, I reckon. And somehow that just occurred to me. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But I usually play sort of that more RPG type of game book. Maybe it'll be liberating not having to keep track of items carried and things like that. And my strength stat and all that stuff. You know what? I'm going to flip back to that last book and look at the back. So I remember it in the first one, Call of Cthulhu, it had a bunch of cool pictures of all the characters and a little blurb about each one. So I missed skipping through that one. I was kind of at the last 20 pages or so, and I said, "Oh, yeah, let me move on." Now I'm like curious about those. Bizarre creatures are coming, floating from the reef. This guy's got the biggest migraine or hangover. The Marsh family tree is complete. Hey guys, I'm never sure if it's Dagon or Dagon. Now, and there's like a movie with what's his name? Shoot, I can't remember the name. What's his name? Stuart Gordon or something. Anyway, they call it Dagon in that movie. Here we have Robert Martin Olmsted, who looks like H.P. Lovecraft himself. Here's a creepy sea captain. Grocery store clerk. This guy doesn't look too well. Okay, and as I mentioned, I'm gonna take a quick look at the back of At the Mountains of Madness and just browse the lovely pictures of Shoggoths and whatnot. Dramatis Personae. Shoggoths, they're basically blobby things that change form and have a lot of eyes. And they kind of tumble forward to chase you while squishing their eyes, probably, which must hurt a lot. They were described by H.P. Lovecraft as a terrible, indescribable thing, vaster than any subway train. A shapeless congeries of protoplasmic bubbles, faintly self-luminous, and with myriads of temporary eyes forming and unforming as pustules of greenish light all over the tunnel-filling front that bore down upon us, crushing the frantic penguins and slithering over the glistening floor. Still came the eldritch mocking cry, "Tekeli Lee, Tekeli Lee." Yeah, they must, they can make their eyes appear and disappear. So maybe when they're, to refer to my other comment about are they squishing their eyes as they move around, maybe they make those eyes disappear as they tumble around. And we got Elder Things here. Who else do we have? I think we have the little Cthulhu guys, the spawn of Cthulhu in this story, right? This guy's named Danforth. What's the seventh star? Professor Lee. We got our frenzy albino penguins. The Cho-Cho people. Okay. Let's move on to number 4. Yeah. Somehow my unboxing often turn out to be longer than expected. This one is the Nameless City. Same old warning. Yeah, so here we're exploring an ancient city in the Arabic areas. I'm not sure which country specifically. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, it might be interesting for me personally to explore. I feel like most people out there either haven't read any of these or they've read all of them. But to me, I've only read some of them, so I wonder how it's going to be like comparing to a story that I know well, such as At the Mountains of Madness, versus one that I don't know at all, such as The Nameless City. Like, I might have different insights or a different point of view depending on which story I'm playing. Maybe there are some other people who share my problem Not that it's really a problem, but maybe you've only read the Call of Cthulhu because it's famous, but maybe not all of these other ones. Who's this weirdo? Looks like some kind of a lizard man, or an alligator man, maybe a dinosaur man. Well, thank you for flipping through these books with me. I have fun making these videos, and my channel is all about fun. It's not about trying to make money. Trying to be an influencer. Just sharing my gaming hobby with the world. And chatting with you guys in the comments. Or live in the chat for streams. This is not a live stream. Alright, so we're getting to the end of this one. Oh, look at this. We found the nameless city. And it gives you a bunch of, are they like the paragraph numbers? The page numbers? That's pretty cool. As a scientist, you wonder if you've gone too far this time. Perhaps. Let's check the back. Oh, we got Ithaquah. Well, now I know he's in this story. He's a Wendigo. Abdul al-Hazred. He is the mad Arab who, did he write the Necronomicon? I think he did. He wrote the Ultimate Book of Evil, a Book of Ultimate Evil, Necronomicon. And, you know, he's a couple things about that. One time a friend told me, you know the Necronomicon is not real, right? Which leads me to think leads me to believe there are some people who actually think it's real. Because I said to this person, should I have thought it was real? But no, it is fiction written by Lovecraft. I mean, the book itself isn't written by Lovecraft. It's alluded to by Lovecraft because this character within the story, this fictional character wrote it. And anyone who's seen the Evil Dead movies or Army of Darkness knows that they borrowed that idea of the Necronomicon as well. It's probably been in a ton of other fiction. But this is where it comes from as far as I'm aware. Not this specific book, obviously, but the original Lovecraft stories. Great race of Yith. Genie. Wind. Okay, Wind is a character, I guess. I guess it plays a lot of, plays a strong role in the story. Inhabitants of the nameless city. These reptilian-looking things, whatever. Alligator boys. Alright, that is number 4. Let's move on to number 5. The Dunwich Horror. And this is one that I know, but for some reason I don't have the story as cemented in my head as I do for, let's say, Call of Cthulhu or At the Mountains of Madness. So it's the one that maybe I like halfway know it. I don't know. You are Professor Henry Armitage. Why did that name come up so much in fiction? Armitage. You find a scene worthy of the nightmares of Damascus. Yeah, this promises to be a lot of fun. I haven't decided about what I think about not having the kind of character stats element to it in the character sheet and the dice rolling. It's probably fine, honestly. It's a departure from what I'm used to. I always kind of... This is total nonsense what I'm about to say. But I kind of always thought the Choose Your Own Adventures were like the... the kiddie version of these kind of stories. But then as they got more advanced in fighting fantasy and whatnot, and other similar game books, having this character sheet and stats and combat rolls and stuff, that felt like it was the next level of maturity. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. In fact, maybe it would even serve this kind of... It would negatively serve this kind of book. I'm just kind of making things up, but just letting my thoughts flow out. But you know, you don't really need to be rolling dice for combat against things that are supposed to be, you know, instantly killing you. But then again, you know, that kind of stuff works well for the Call of Cthulhu RPG, so maybe it would be fine. And it wouldn't necessarily only be combat. It would be like, you know, sneaking around and investigating and whatnot as well. And other physical feats or mental feats as well. Jumping around, searching for things. But anyway, this is the way they went. You just kind of choose your own adventure style, and, you know, I'll be open-minded to that for sure. Let's look through a little faster. Every time I say that, I come across an illustration that I want to gawk at. Look at that, he shouts, over there. Victorian mansion. Whoa. Scary. Yeah, I do appreciate the artwork in this game. I like it. Wow. Pretty creepy stuff, huh? Yeah, I mean, if these are good, you know, I'll have to buy numbers 7 through 14 as well when they come out. I'm assuming they aren't out yet, and I just haven't lost track of it. But, you know, these books are relatively recent, so I can't imagine books 7 to 14 are already out. But hopefully I'll hear about it through the grapevine. Alright. Whoa, here's Yog-Sothoth, our friend. It's funny how almost everything involving these Lovecraft monsters are just like some sort of a mass of tentacles and eyeball. There's variations on that too, but that seems to be like the most common trait. Sometimes mouths. His offspring looks a little different. I mean, kind of defies what I just said. It looks more like a standard demon-like thing. I guess it still has a ton of... Oh yeah, look at that. It's got eyeballs, random eyeballs and tentacles as well too. Okay. Professor Henry Armitage. He looks like a pile of eyeballs and tentacles too. No, dude, he doesn't look too... He looks like scarier than most... This one looks scarier than most of those monsters, honestly. He's an authentic bookworm. Maybe that's why. She looks like she needs to catch up on her sleep. I mean, she is the mother of Yog-Sothoth's offspring, it says, after a blasphemous intercourse with the outer god. Yeah, you know, motherhood does tend to make a woman pretty exhausted sometimes. And I'm sure if Yog-Sothoth is the father, he's not really helping to change diapers very often. All right. Zechariah. Okay, we're down to the final one. The Dreams in the Witch House. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to play these. I just wish I had more time to. Funny thing, as far as game points go, game books go, you know, I played them a lot growing up, and then probably when I turned, like, I don't know, somewhere in my mid-teens or so, I didn't really touch them at all for a long time, for like at least a decade. But they've always been a thing that I thought was pretty cool. But I kind of just stopped in my tracks for a moment because I see some sort of a game mechanic-y thing here for the first time. Some kind of points. Some pages will give you cultist points or take them away. They represent the depth of your involvement with things man was not meant to know. Keep track of your cultist points. They will affect your options. Oh, that's cool. So they are experimenting a little with game mechanic-y stuff, perhaps. The Black Man. I believe that's one of the forms of Nyarlathotep. Almost 10 feet of height. Whew. That must be him too. Yeah, his art is pretty effective. I like it. Soon the dog gets to it and clenches his jaws to fetch it. What is it, though? Dreams in the witch house, right? Yeah. Dreams in the witch house. I know in the Arkham Horror board game, the witch house is one of the locations you can hang out at. You can explore stuff there. At least in the version I have. I have the 2nd edition, I believe. I never checked out the 3rd edition. Whoa. What's happening there? Is somebody turning to liquid? It's melting. Look, a dead rat. The ungodly pilgrimage leads you unerringly to the temple of black seeping walls. I don't like the way this one's looking at me. I mean, I feel like I've been spotted, and it's not going to go well from here. But you could say that as soon as you open the book like so, it doesn't go well from that point on. But again, I am kind of interested to see if some of these endings can be a little bit happier than in the original story. Not necessarily a happy ending, but perhaps you survive and don't lose your mind. I'm assuming each of these has some kind of a good ending, where good is relative. Alright, so that about wraps it up. Let's just check out this one last second. Here's our man, Nyarlathotep. I think his idea is he can change forms. And as I understand it, again, I'm not an expert in the Cthulhu mythos, but as I understand it, he's the one, sort of these villainous outer gods or whatever, or great old ones, who is actively, against humanity. The rest kind of just think of us like ants and they'll squish us as needed. But this one is apparently someone who actually loves to make us die and suffer or whatever. Or just wants us out of the way or whatever his deal is. It kind of explains some of it here. The intentions are always dark, seeking to establish a kingdom of madness on Earth. And the other ones are kind of incomprehensible and are just like way bigger than we can imagine. Look at this priest. I think I remember him from my Catholic high school days. Alright, well that is about it. So once again, that was, the Choose Cthulhu series, published by Steve Jackson Games. And yeah, stay tuned on this channel. I definitely want to play at least one of these sometime. And I assume I'll probably play multiple unless they turn out to be bad, but I doubt they will. Good stuff. And let's not forget the Cthulhu dice game, which, I don't remember if I paid extra for this or if it was like a throw-in freebie. But I kind of like the die. I mean, I'm not really sure if the game is going to be that great, but it's worth a try. But the die looks cool. At least there's that. Alright, so that is it. This is Mark W. signing off. Thanks for watching my humble video. The usual deal. If you like this, please like and subscribe, etc., etc. And yeah, if you aren't aware of my streamings that I do, you can check my channel for current schedule. I guess I might as well say, I was hesitant to say because it changes and this will be a video that's permanent. But as of this time in February 2024, and again, it's subject to change, I stream random stuff on Saturday nights at typically 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight, depending on the whether it's daylight savings or not. And I do random video games, retro video games, Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. But yeah, this stuff, if I do stream this would more likely to be on Saturday night gaming at 9:15 p.m. So yeah, your sanity is at stake. If you don't watch my streams, you're gonna lose your sanity. All right, enough of this silliness. Thanks for watching. Take care.